Hey everybody, it's Everett with Ohio for Freedom, and I am joined by Margie Christie of Dayton Right to Life, and we are here to talk about a very, very important subject that's coming up quickly. Margie, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, it's always good to be with you.
Well, I just want to turn this loose because I feel like Ohioans have been kind of confused. Some people think we don't have something coming up. Some people think it's already happened. So you are here to set the record straight. What is coming up in November, and is it important?
Right. So we had our election in August. That was strictly on how things go in the Constitution. So we're moving on from there. We're actually now getting to the actual abortion ballot language that the pro-aborts have been talking about for the last year or so. So we've known for about the last year that they have wanted to put the right to abortion in our Constitution. And that's exactly what their language is going to do. So I think, first of all, the first thing folks need to understand is this is going in our Constitution, in our Bill of Rights, in Article 1 of our Bill of Rights, right next to the right to bear arms, the right to assembly, the right to reproductive freedom will be right there. So that's the first thing people need to understand, how this isn't another law. And when that happens, as you know, Everett, it supersedes all laws. So anything in the Constitution is going to pretty much nullify any laws that we currently have on the books. 24-hour waiting period, Down syndrome bans, the heartbeat, anything 16 weeks, 20 weeks, whatever. Currently, abortions are at 20 weeks right now,
Right.
and legally, much to our dismay. So, but this will, pretty much put it all the way up through 9 months. And we'll talk about how the language does that. But that's first and foremost, people need to understand. This is going in our Bill of Rights.
Okay, can I stop you right there? So in other words, what's coming up in November is they, which is not us, they want to enshrine in our Ohio Constitution the right to take innocent life in the womb up to the last. They want to enshrine abortion in our Constitution.
That is correct. And at that point, we could pass very little laws to even try to stop it.
And it would be not, as you said, so it's not just changing law, it's putting it in the Constitution, which if that ever happened, it'd be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to ever rescue ourselves.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I think the only thing that takes something out of a Constitution is a referendum. And I don't ever remember, and I'm kind of old, Everett, and I don't ever remember voting on a referendum.
Oh, you're a spring chicken compared to yours truly. So this is really, really important. And so which way do we vote? Yes or no?
So we're definitely going to say no to this language. And I want to walk folks through the language a little bit so they can understand how dangerous this language is. So keep in mind, this was written by the ACLU experts. Everybody's, would like to say, well, they're being too vague. No, they are purposely using language that they know they can get through the court system. This is not in vagueness. This isn't anything. This is all intentional, all their words. So the first thing that it says is every individual has a right to make or carry out one's own reproductive decisions.
Right.
You will not find the word woman in this language anywhere. It says individual, which means there's no age limit. It can be a minor, it can be an adult, it can be a male, it can be a female. Every individual has a right to make and carry out one's own reproductive decisions.
So
if a teenager, including but not limited to, and that's important. That's wide open. And they list some options here: contraception, fertility, continuing one's own pregnancy, miscarriage care, and abortion. So keep in mind, there's much more than abortion here already from the very beginning. We're talking about minors, and we're talking about reproductive decisions. So that's really, really important to point out to folks. And we've actually had some legal scholars even question that you could even possibly even put prostitution under those reproductive decisions as well. And that would be horrific. So that's our first problem. The second part is a Section B. And that says the state, which is us, the legislatures, our representatives, that type of thing, the state shall not directly or indirectly burden, penalize, prohibit, interfere with, or discriminate with anyone in their voluntary exercise of this right. So in other words, we can't pass laws that say the abortionist has to be a doctor, or a woman has to wait 24 hours, or parents have to be notified. All those would be considered burdens or penalties or prohibitions on this reproductive right.
Right.
And that's very important. That's where they're going to just pretty much push through anything. Full-term abortions on demand, little, if any, parental consent, little, if any, parental notification. So that's going to open our state up to all kinds of, abusers taking, a soccer coach taking a 14-year-old for an abortion that, he's abusing and the parents never even know. I mean, it's a parent's nightmare, honestly.
Can I interrupt for a second? So, and I didn't mean to holler, or you're having a hard time hearing me. The audience doesn't know that. So the first part we were talking about, I sure got the impression that, like, if a 13-year-old in junior high, God forbid, discovers she's pregnant, whoever's involved in the school could deal with her and counsel her in the abortion direction, and the parents wouldn't even have to be notified. Is that correct?
That's correct, because in this language of this ballot language, that would be interfering with her reproductive decision.
And then this second part here is basically indemnifying them. It's whoever would be involved in that. They'd bear no responsibility. They could do that with no consequences. Am I understanding that right?
Correct. So
okay.
Yeah. So basically, this amendment would actually provide protections. It protects these persons or entities in this number 2 that assist these women or children, boys, if they want to do a sex change hormone therapy type thing. It protects those people that are assisting them rather than parents who are trying to protect them, because that's what that says in that section 2. A person or entity that assists these individuals exercising this right shouldn't be burdened, penalized, prohibited, or interfered with.
Gotcha. You continue. Thanks for letting me interrupt. I wanted to make sure that was clear on that.
So that number 1 and 2 under section B really kind of enlightens who they are actually protecting. And it's the Planned Parenthoods of the world. It's the abusers, the traffickers. They're the ones getting the protections. And then in section 3, they do try to put a caveat in there, and where they say, however, number 3, abortion may be prohibited after fetal viability, but in no case may such an abortion be prohibited if in the professional judgment of the pregnant patient's treating physician.
Right.
Number 3 under there. Yeah. So first of all, they don't even say pregnant woman, it's pregnant patient. But at this point, if we're considering an abortion, who is the pregnant patient's treating physician? The abortionist, of course, the person getting paid to kill the baby. So the odds that they're going to side on protecting the mother and the baby is slim to none when they get paid to kill the baby, or they don't get paid till they kill the child. So that's really a big change in our changing fetal viability. Later on in the next section, they actually redefine fetal viability, which is horrific in itself. And then the last thing I wanted to point out to folks was that under C, that number 2, Everett, it says state, and they're defining the state as, and this is a standard one, includes any governmental entity, right? But then keep in mind, it says, and any political subdivision. Who would that be? School boards, cities, municipalities. So even a pro-life conservative school board couldn't say, well, our staff needs to provide parental notification. Even our school board couldn't pass something like that. This language would prohibit that. And those folks down in Lebanon and Mason that did a sanctuary city, those would be nullified. No sanctuary cities, nothing. So this is a very targeted, specific. They know exactly what they're putting in our Constitution.
They're not going to put it in our Constitution.
No, they're not.
But that's what their attempt is. And
correct.
Do Ohioans bear a responsibility for the rest of the nation?
So
on this one?
That's exactly right. So we know we're the only, this amendment is only in Ohio in 2023. And again, very purposeful. It's, we've had amendments. We've fought these amendments in 6 other states. We've lost all 6, Michigan, Kansas, Kentucky, California. They've all gone down. But they chose Ohio in 2023 because they know as Ohio goes, so goes the country. And they know if they can win in Ohio, they can just take this playbook across the whole United States. So Ohioans have got to be the stopper. They've got to be the stopper for this. And I think we will be. I think they underestimated how pro-life Ohio is.
Right.
Ohioans are not going to be for full-term, late-term abortions. I mean, we just will not tolerate killing a baby, an 8-pound baby, days before it's born. I mean, we just won't. So we have our work cut out for it, obviously, but I think they've underestimated our pro-life commitment.
All right. Well, let's put a little summary on this because I want people to be able to share our conversation here, Margie. But the first of all, this would change our Constitution, and any change to the Constitution would be very, very, if not impossible, nearly impossible to ever change.
Correct.
And it would enshrine late-term abortion in Ohio. Am I overstating that? Okay.
That's exactly right. And we couldn't we wouldn't be able to pass any laws, any health or safety laws for women. Like I said, we couldn't pass a law that said the abortionist has to be a doctor or the facility has to be clean or inspected.
Yeah. And doesn't that language make the woman's, the pregnant woman's attending physician, doesn't it almost put them in the position of God to, like if the woman's feelings would be hurt, well, that would be a health issue, which would justify the late term abortion. Am I overstating that, or is that accurate?
Oh no, we saw that in Planned Parenthood versus Casey. Health of the mother can be financial health, emotional health, familial health. It can, I'm 45 years old, I'm too old to have a baby, that type of thing. So yeah, I mean, it can mean a lot of that, and you're not overstating that at all. Okay.
Well, Margie, thanks. I want to keep this brief, and you don't have to sign on with this statement here, but folks, we're going to have blood on our hands if we don't defeat this. We really are. And so we're going to defeat it. Vote no on issue 1. Margie, if people want to get more information about where you are, y'all's organization, where should we send them to wrap up?
So issue 1, our great information on issue 1 is available at protectwomendayton.org. And if you want to know more about Dayton Life, it's daytonlife.org. But I encourage folks to go. We have videos there. We have all kinds of stuff at protectwomendayton.org. And please, please, please vote early. Please vote early. It starts October 11th.
Vote early, get somebody to vote with. And Margie, thank you very much. And we've talked kind of serious, but I just want to, I'll just say this. You guys love on women,
yes,
and are there for women and support women 365. And you've been doing it a long time. You are happy people, and we're gonna stay happy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time. Get out and vote. Yes. No. Margie, I'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good talking to you.
Okay. Good talking to you.